All right, trade pros, welcome to our morning market update for what day is it? December the 4th. It's Tuesday, December the 4th of 2018, and this is George Papazov from Trade Pro Academy. Today we're going to talk about a few things, and primarily what we're going to be talking about is the French government update, some things going on Amazon, and the most important thing that we're tracking along with here on the yield curve, the 10-year Treasury. All right, so let's talk about a few things here. So in Asia, Japan's down 2.4% so far. Hong Kong's up 0.3%. China's up 0.4. India's down 0.3. So as you can see, there's a little bit more mixed bag of nuts in the Asian markets this morning. Yesterday, we had more of a clear direction to the upside. We got a little bit of excitement going on from the U.S.-China meeting, and that excitement's factored or played into the market. But as we start to dig deeper into it, at the end of the day, no promises were made. There's nothing real that's happened other than the 90-day extension from the beginning of December 1st. Trade Representative Robert Lightyear said that, probably butchered his name. I don't listen to any news, so I don't hear the guy's name. So here's the thing. So he mentioned that these 90 days are going to be starting January 1st, which means it'll be the end of March. Those 90 days start at the beginning of December, which means we've already burned 5 days on it, 4 days or so of what we have the window. So it's end of February. And the more you dig through what's actually been said, none of the countries issued a written statement. There's nothing in writing. It's all just lip service at this point. And so the market's starting to digest that a little bit and doesn't trust it as much as Donald Trump wants them to trust it. Also, there's a lot of shady stuff around the car tariffs. Donald Trump said that China will remove a 40% tariff on vehicles imported from the United States, and China made no such mention. They're not confirming it or denying it. Donald Trump said that it could be in talks, then he said that it might be in talks. They said they agreed, they could agree, it's possible. There's just no clear language, very confusing, and so the markets are shrugging off some of the gains from yesterday. All right, in Europe at midday, London's down 0.7, Paris down 0.7, so is Frankfurt. Futures here in the United States or up in the United States, down. U.S. is that way. You can see the lake. Well, you probably can't, but we're right by the lake here, and I literally see New York State. So, anywho, Dow's down 0.4%, S&P's down 0.3%, Nasdaq's down 0.5%. Crude oil is up big today, up 2%, and gold up about 0.5%. Bitcoin down 1 more percent, under 4,000. So as you can see, assets are selling off for the most part, with the exception of crude oil, which is catching a little bit of a bid. However, crude's down so much in the last couple months that a little 2.5% rally isn't the beginning of a new uptrend. It's just a bounce back or a release of some buy stops from late short sellers. And we'll see how far that takes us. Tonight at 4:30, we have the API inventory, American Petroleum Institute. They release weekly inventory statistics. The more important Department of Energy release and report that usually comes out on Wednesday at 10:30 is delayed to Thursday at 11 a.m. So there is no oil inventories tomorrow to trade because there's an observance or a holiday for George Bush Sr. And let me tell you how it's working. This is really odd. The CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is closing at 9:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So basically, it'll run up to where it's normally opening at 9:30, where all U.S. traders jump on board at the 9:30 open per se. You're not going to get that. It's going to close at 9:29.59. And the second it hits 9:30, markets are going to be halted. And this is in recognition or in remembrance of George Bush Sr. And the futures will reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern. Canadian markets are open. There's a Bank Canada rate decision tomorrow. All right. European markets are open. Asian markets are open. Currency markets are obviously open. And so if you want to trade tomorrow, go for it. I know that it's a national holiday tomorrow, and so a lot of banks and institutional traders will not be at their desk. At Trade Pro Academy, we don't trade like the pros. We trade with the pros. We are the pros. Therefore, we got to take a day off too. It's only natural. I don't want to be at my desk when there's no professional traders in the market. That drain of liquidity, the absence of volume, makes it really tough and unforgiving for some newer traders. Especially, the better you are trading, actually, those days are harder for you to sit through. They're just not worth it. So we're closing the room tomorrow. There's gonna be no morning market update. I'll do something noon with you guys because I am coming into the office just a little bit later. These is a rare opportunity to sleep in. That's that. All right. Equity and interest rate options will expire today that were supposed to expire tomorrow. So we have that. Oh, by the way, the market reopens at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So think about this. The stock market is closed, New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. So 9:30 a.m. the market closes, and 6 p.m. it reopens for futures trading. The futures are basically just going to take the U.S. session and chop it out of the mix. You got the overnight session still active. That's kind of how it's going to work. Okay, very interesting stuff happened here yesterday, guys. The yield curve inverted. It's not the popular 2 and 10 year spread that most people count. It was the 3 and 5 year, all right, and the 2 and 5 year yield curve inverted on Monday. What is the yield curve? What's an inversion? I think sometimes Google flips the screen, so if these directions aren't making sense, then visualize it how you need to. But if you think about, I do it from my perspective, you're gonna have to flip it. If you think about what a yield curve is, it's the curve on bond yields. I know it's a pretty crummy explanation, but let me go a little bit deeper. I'm not going to do a whole segment on this, but basically what it says is the longer that you loan money to companies, the longer term bonds that you purchase, the more interest rate you should receive to get compensated for time, especially the risk that's present in that time. The shorter dated bond maturities should give you a lower return because you're committing less capital. You're committing the same capital for less time. What's happened here in the United States, however, is the 2 and 5 year and 3 and 5 year bonds have inverted, which means you're actually getting a higher return for a 3-year bond than you are for a 5-year bond. All right. So the question is this: who's going to loan capital for longer periods of time if they're not getting compensated for it? And the reason the yield curve inversion happens and is risky and is fearsome is because it pushes the front end of the curve, closer maturities, borrowing costs higher. All right. You get higher yields, but that pushes borrowing costs up as well, and it puts pressure on the economy. The 2 and 10 year have not inverted yet, but watch very carefully this week. If they do invert, the 2 and 10 year have always signaled, going back to literally over 100 years, the past 100+ years, every time the 2 and the 10 year yield curves have inverted, it's triggered a recession shortly after, within 4 to 6 months. And the Federal Reserve will tell you this time it's different. And I'm sure each one of the past few times that it's happened in the last 100 years, they've said the same thing too. This time it's different. The Fed's not going to tell you, run. The Fed's going to keep you around the corner as long as possible until the animal comes around and gets you. That's their job. All right. That's the yield curve inversion. We covered it on that. French government suspends their fuel tax hike. The Gilets jaunes. If any of our French people out there, that French-speaking francophone subscribers, let me know how I did on that. I like a score out of 0 to 10. All right. That means yellow jackets or yellow vests. Gilets jaunes. The yellow vests caused a whole bunch of uproar, looting, burning, and it started with this fuel tax hike increase, and now they're protesting a drop in living standards. So Macron has reacted by cutting this fuel tax hike. So that's an interesting play. Last but not least, Amazon's up 18% in the last 6 sessions, and its market value is just below $867 billion. There's a battle between 3 tech titans going on, and it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes out, just for fun. Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple are all around the $860 billion market cap, and they're duking it out to see who becomes the #1 company in the world. Amazon has not yet held that title. However, it could today. All right. Amazon's still up 52% for the year, though it's still down 13% off its record high. So watch tech stocks. The reason I mention this, the more market update, is watch the technology sector and watch the FANG index: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. That's FANG. Watch those stocks very carefully today. If we're going to ignite a rally further, we need them to go. If FANG stocks start to curl down or get weaker in the morning, I think we have an opportunity for some more selling here. Yesterday was a nice sell day in the open. Today, I think we're going to get a little bit more of a sell-off and see where it ends. Watch that 10:30 mid-morning reversal hour. So we could have an hour selling followed by reversal and continue higher for the rest of the week. Futures do not close today at 4 p.m. or 4:15. They never do, actually. Futures close at 5 p.m. Eastern. But what is happening is they are closing at 9:29:59 tomorrow morning. So basically, right before the U.S. opening bell, it's halted, and then they reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be closed for, what, I don't know, 7.5 hours? Something like that. What are you doing? I don't even want to show you guys what Victoria's doing. Did you have fun? Was that worth it, Victoria? Yeah, that's good. Anything else you want to tell him? No? Where's Marky? Marky's supposed to be in today. All right, that's all we got for you guys. So tomorrow, if we have a day off, we'll come into the office and do a live around noon. I'll do one for you guys, so stay tuned. But for now, have yourself a great day. Manage your risk, trade like a trade pro, and decide right now whether or not you're going to be in tomorrow. That's what I'm going to tell you guys. A lot of people say, I'm going to just look at it. I'm not going to trade. Then they end up trading, and then they lose money. And then they're like, damn it, I shouldn't have looked at it. There's no looking at it. If you're going to show up and look at it, then trade it. But decide whether or not you're going to be there. I'm taking a hard no. I'm not trading tomorrow, and I know that. I trade with the professional money, and the pro money is not going to be around tomorrow. They're going to be off because national holiday, banks are closed. All right, so I'll see you guys on tomorrow at noon, and then we'll see you on Thursday for some oil inventories and other fun stuff. Manage your risk, trade like a trade pro. Look for some early morning weakness followed by a mid-morning reversal. You guys take care. Have a great day. Catch you tomorrow. Goodbye. We're going to sell them again this morning, Vicky. I like that. He said, if that's what the best trade is. Damn it, Vic, you're learning, Ben. Yeah, it only took a couple of years. You're learning. All right, trade pros in the room. Let's talk about some levels here. Oil's on a dump at the moment. In fact, it's getting into its previous day close, but I'll let Steven handle that. I'm going to talk about equities. I see some really good levels to qualify trades off of. Yesterday morning, we had some great opportunities. We're on the trend, and it paid off dearly. So today, we got to do the same. There's a few levels I'm kind of tracking with that we need to get through and test, and then that'll qualify some really high probability trades. Looking for 2 to 3 good trades today, make my target, and be done. That's all I'm going for in the morning.